Good afternoon, Merrimack Elementary. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. Getting ready for spring break. I know we are around here, and it's early release day, and then we'll be off all of next week, and we're just kind of getting ready for that. Even though it's a little cooler, rainy day here, it's still a good day as we're getting ready for spring break on what's been a long, a bit of a long conference week as we kind of been looking at some of those things, and but it's been a good conference week as we've had a chance for everybody to come back. A lot of people be back in the building when they haven't been for a long time, and just getting that chance to check in and make sure everything's going well. So really, spring break brings about some interesting things. As it used to always mean for me, what spring break always meant to me was really, think about the NCAA tournament. It's like a holiday in my house. We love that first weekend of the tournament that usually fell during spring break. I know it doesn't nowadays, but those are usually the things that I think about with spring break. That was always the one thing. A couple of years ago, that changed. And so now, last 2 years, every time spring break rolls around, it's hard not to think of that spring break in 2020 where we went to spring break and everything in our lives changed. It was that quick. It felt like I remember all the conversations during the conference week before spring break about, Japan just closed every school in the country, and all these other conversations that had been happening. And then lo and behold, everything changed. And so it's hard not to still think back to that spring break week of getting computers ready, having every kid have to come up and get computers and have them putting in plastic, bags, and all the things and everything that went into all of those pieces, and not really knowing what to expect, thinking, okay, this may just be a short-term thing. And here we are 2 years later, still working through dealing with what this has meant for all of us, knowing that it's caused lots of different feelings. Everybody has very strong feelings on many different avenues with regards to a lot of the things that have happened over the last couple of years. But it was that spring break a couple of years ago that just still sticks in my mind. You know, Everything from, I remember we had classrooms where the kids had been writing messages and using writing. They're practicing their letter writing and other things on the windows. Like calendars that were on the walls that when everybody came back, you know, that were done before spring break, getting ready for when everybody came back, and all of a sudden it just that nobody they didn't come we didn't come back for so long. And so I remember still coming in and seeing those spaces on those first couple of years, and just think and or that first spring whenever nobody else was here and it was just me in the building, seeing all those things, and it just being so odd to see like everything had just frozen, which in a lot of ways it really had. So again, right now it's hard not to reflect on what these last couple of years have meant. I know you guys have heard me talk a lot about it on these videos, but also just thanking everybody for their flexibility, their understanding, their patience, as really we've all tried to figure this out together. And there's been some things that, looking back, maybe we could have done differently, we could have done better, obviously. But there's also things that we hopefully we've been able to learn and take from this. And I was talking with one of our teachers today, and she says, these kids that have done this and went through this, there's a toughness and a resilience in a lot of our students, that has been a benefit of this. So there's things like that we're going to be able to take and hold on as we kind of move forward, because this is going to be one of those events that obviously will mark our history, mark our kids' lives, mark our own lives, as one of those kind of lines drawn in the sand that we're always going to remember what that was. And for me, it's that day before spring break that always reminds me of what that was like in that spring break of 2020. So hopefully we won't have anything quite like that this spring. We don't foresee anything. I can't imagine there would be, and I'm just thankful that there's not going to be for all of us, for our kids especially. So I want you guys all to not have to worry about those things. Enjoy your spring break, thinking about the fact that we haven't had to worry about those. And maybe for some of you, this is this first spring break where you're able to do things that you haven't been able to do for a couple of years, or maybe you're still are just on that spring break where you're going to be able to sit at home and relax and be together as family and just kind of just be. So hopefully everybody has that nice, restful, relaxing spring break. And we look forward to seeing all the kids when everybody comes back, and just hope everybody has a good time. And take your own time. And I would also encourage everybody just to kind of reflect on your own, because it was, this spring break time period marks 2 years that it's been since this all happened. So it's kind of like that anniversary. Even though there's not a set anniversary, it's kind of like that anniversary. So it's a good time just to reflect on everything that you as a family, you as your children have done over the last couple of years to kind of overcome some challenges that nobody would have ever imagined. So don't forget to celebrate those positives. Have a great spring break, and we'll see everybody on the Monday when we come back.